When I started YouTube back in June of 2017, the one thing that I had on my mind was how I wanted to make videos. I wanted to be able to support artists and the things that they do, while also being able to talk about topics that I really wanted to. One of the other things that I also wanted to do was not be associated with other big anime YouTubers and the things that they do, such as corporate shilling or supporting some very shady business practices or other things that they may have been able to promote. But in my time that I've started YouTube, I've noticed that a lot of big anime YouTubers tend to do a lot of things a little bit differently than I would have liked to have done them. Generally because they have a different audience that they cater to. A lot of people maybe that are in my audience that are subscribed to me are also subscribed to one of them, whether it be Mother's Basement, it could be Giguk, or even the Anime Man, or even Digibro. These people are all anime influencers or anime YouTubers or AniTubers if you prefer that term. I guess that's a thing. But they all do something that influences anime in anime communities all across the entire world. But you see, in the past week or so, even if we wanted to go back even to the last year, a lot of interesting things have been happening. A lot of unnecessary and a lot of scary things have been happening. And a lot of it pertains to a lot of you. I'm of course talking about the one thing that you saw in the thumbnail, the Flying Colors Foundation. And this video is going to highlight a couple of things that are in the Medium article by someone that you should probably only listen to this article about in this particular regard, because a lot of their other stuff is kind of a little bit, but this one really nails it. I'll get into a lot of these in a little bit of a different section by section piece, but to start off, the Flying Colors Foundation is quintessentially, or was quintessentially, a non-profit organization that was going to use the collected data from pretty much everybody that took a survey that the Anime Man had spread around for a top 100 anime of all time list, and use that information to pretty much present it to the Flying Colors Foundation. They were going to analyze it and pretty much use it to track trends in the anime community across the entire world and give those to the Japanese studios so that way they could produce anime based on what information they had or the trends that were present. But that never really took place because a lot of these things were just never ever going to happen. And I'll explain why in this video. Now, as I record this video, if you try to look up the Flying Colors Foundation, you'll probably find their Twitter page, which is listed right here. But as far as any external pages, like their Facebook or even their website, they've all been taken down. They've been suspended or they've deleted everything. Even if you try to look up the Anime Man's video talking about it or anything related to it, he's pretty much deleted that, except for the two videos where he pretty much talks about the Flying Colors Foundation and the involvement of other anime YouTubers, or at least just one, by Giguk, who was there since the inception of the Flying Colors Foundation. But let's not get too ahead of myself here, but let's go ahead and we'll go down the timeline according to this Medium article that's here. This is the Medium article that I'll be referencing a lot and pulling everything from, and it's called The Concealment and Lies Behind the Flying Colors Foundation, Further Revelations, which this is the second article out of the multiple ones that deal with the Flying Colors Foundation and how it essentially is a scam. So in the beginning of this article, it starts off with a timeline dating at July 12th of 2017, where Otaku Pen Club is a for-profit pen-making company making anime-related pins and merchandise, was filed for registration in California. At this point, business operations started and have continued to this day, though discussions for deals regarding the business occurred multiple months before this foundation and before documents were registered. The founder is Daniel Su. This is Daniel Su, and he's going to be important later on, but he's the one who filed the initial filings for Otaku Pen Club, and he's one of the most prominent people that you'll see for Flying Colors Foundation. And on this clip, you'll see right here that this is the filing paper where he filed for it, and it was approved in July 12th of 2017. It now brings us to the beginning to mid-August of 2017, where FCF, or the Flying Colors Foundation, is founded, and initial actions are taken by the company to establish themselves. The founder is listed on documents filed later in November as Daniel Su, who, if you remember, is Otaku Pin Club's founder as well. Now, pretty much right here is where the plot thickens, because this is where it involves you, the anime community, you, the people. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys are the smartest people on the planet, because you guys are the ones that are responsible for keeping big anime YouTubers afloat. You're the ones that give them the views and give them the money and give them the job that they so desperately want, the ones where they don't have to do any physical labor. Me? I'm just a regular person on the internet making YouTube videos. For shits and giggles. But for now, let's go ahead and get to the task at hand. August 6th, 2017, Joey, aka The Anime Man, releases a video about the top 100 anime as voted for by fans in Japan. Wow. In this video, it's the top 100 anime of all time according to the Japanese audience that is there and can answer the question themselves. It's one that was a poll that was taken pretty much independently by the Japanese studios that were there in Japan. So this would all be a setup for the Anime Man and, of course, the Flying Colors Foundation. So 4 days later, on August 10th, they make a video titled "I Need Your Help," where they note that they've created a poll to ask the same of the Western audience as was asked with this video released on August 6th.
Now you might be wondering why I decided to call this video as it is. And that's because it's not really clickbait. I genuinely need your guys' help for this one. So if you watched my last video, I covered a poll of the top 100 anime series of all time, in parentheses, according to Japan. And a lot of you guys seem to really freaking like that. I haven't had a video done that well in a very, very long time, and I appreciate it. But I saw a lot of, I guess, controversy or not really backlash, but just a lot of people getting a little bit salty in the comments about the stuff that was on that poll. You know, obviously those people don't understand that it is Japan doing that poll, and obviously it's going to change compared to what the international audience thinks.
Sorry guys, I know this isn't really a debunking video, it's more of an informational one, but can I just point out that he says that people were salty in the comments, but in the description of his video, he just put "it's a whole lot of WTF." Like, I think he was pretty salty about it too. Just throwing that out there.
So I even hinted about this over on my Twitter. Shameless plug. But I decided to actually maybe give it a go, and I decided to start my own poll.
And unbeknownst to you, the viewer, you would not know any better that when he said he was starting his own poll, he was actually making one for the Flying Colors Foundation, because he is an anime YouTuber. He is a influencer. They've already paid their money to him to help make this project move forward. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. But here's his other part of the video, where he essentially tries to get as much data as he possibly can from all of you, the viewer, and everybody that you know. And this is why it's especially concerning.
But again, I need your guys' help for this. I can't do this on my own. As much as there is a lot of people watching my videos, it's not everybody. It's not even close to everybody that watches anime. And I want to give every single person on the internet who watches anime a fair chance at voting on their favorite anime series. And while this will be a very exhausting process and exhausting project to do, I think it's really a cool thing to kind of get everybody involved, not just my viewers. Kind of get all the anime YouTubers involved and get everybody else in the anime community involved that doesn't exactly watch my videos. And I really, really, really want this poll to be as legitimate and as interesting as the poll that I showed in the last video. So again, that first link in the description below, share it around on all your social media and to all your friends, and yeah, let's hope for the best, I guess.
August 16th, 2017. As revealed in messages I have acquired, some of which will be released below, a message sent in a chat by the Anime Man notes that a data analyst will be helping with the review of the data collected within this top 100 anime poll, which later transpires to have been FCF. This means that by this point, the Anime Man was involved with FCF and their organization. And this is the Anime Man's message read through a Discord chat. Update on the top 100 poll. It's been a week since it went live and we just broke over 100,000 responses, meaning we have roughly 500,000 votes. We've got a data analyst on the team that will not only help tally the results, but also do some data mining to give us some interesting data trends about the results, i.e. which genre is most popular, which year is most popular, which decade is most popular, etc. Now enter Gigguk sometime in August 2017. Gigguk also becomes involved with FCF, actually before the Anime Man and as the first affiliated influencer, as messages acquired note them saying they've become involved, quote, since the beginning, and the results video to the Anime Man's Top 100 anime poll credit Gigguk as introducing them to FCF at the 2-minute and 50-second mark of the video. Direct communication with Gigguk also noted contact between themselves and FCF that came before involvement with the Anime Man and FCF.
I also want to give an extra shout out to Jeff through Mother's Basement, Sea-Dog, Connor, and Soul Animation. These three actually put the poll in a video to help spread it to their own individual fan bases. So I want to give an extra special thank you to you guys who did that for me. I didn't even ask for them to do that. I just said, if you could just share it, like the poll on Twitter and everything, then that'd be fine. But they went out of their way to actually put it in a video for me. Super special thank you to you guys. Links to their channels in the description, so check all three of them out. And a huge shout out to the fucking MVPs of this entire poll, the lovely folks over at Flying Colors Foundation. Now, if you guys don't know Flying Colors Foundation, they are an anime NPO, non-profit organization, which I got to be friends with through my buddy Gigguk or Gant. Again, shout out to you, my boy. The lovely dudes over at Flying Colors Foundation were actually responsible for bringing all of the data together to make it into a top 100 list, and also even put together a nice visual representation of all of the information we were able to get out of this top 100, which I'm about to show to you guys. So they made this, they put all of this together. If it wasn't for them, this entire poll and project would not have been possible.
I added in a little bit extra, so that way you knew exactly who got your information and who knows a little bit more about you, but that'll be in a little bit later. But that video is essentially how they introduced how Gigguk and the FCF are pretty much affiliated. Now, I know that they don't specifically list it in this video or in this article, but I can go ahead and play you a clip of how I know that Gigguk and the FCF are pretty much partners at the very beginning of this. Because, as you remember, Daniel Su is the founder of both Otaku Pin Club and of the Flying Colors Foundation. And this is a video that I remember very greatly in detail, and it's one that you may also remember as well.
If you want to avoid the dark Emoto dystopia at all costs, then you can do so by putting them where they belong. In the fucking trash. That's why you can get your exclusive Sagari Trash and Umaru Dumpster pins from Otaku Pin Club. Links are in the description below. More details coming up.
I know, a very small clip, but you can go ahead and watch a couple of his videos if you're familiar with them. I'll leave a link to this entire video in the description below, but let's just go ahead and move on with this timeline a little bit more. September 2017, contact between various Japanese companies and FCF has occurred, which included a relationship with the Anime Dormitory project that was made official, one which was seemingly confirmed via Twitter on the 14th September. Between the time of the company being established at the beginning of August and going throughout August and September, contact was made and relationships established with all of the influencers listed in their press kit except Aki Dearest. September 24th, 2017, a meeting was had with an unknown party regarding the planned business strategy of the company, and the presentation used in the meeting was publicly available by FCF and can be found here. This establishes the connections with 5 of the 6 influencers, lists a team of 3 of the 6 listed employees on the press kit from March 2018. There are issues with the total number of people involved that will be mentioned later, and list a now outdated plan to fund anime productions and create a new model for anime. It should be noted that even though this is no longer in the current plans for FCF, they had initially contacted influencers about this venture and mentioned these plans to them at this point of discussions. The following day, an email sent from FCF to the party they met with confirms the meeting all along, with plans to help do things such as establishing more revenue streams, working on a publication, or producing your own content. On the last video that I showed you of the Anime Man, where he announced those top 100 anime that was supposed to be for here in America, or at least internationally, that was on October 6th that was published. And you can also visit the ISU page, which is a link that I have in the description, where it shows the 12-page digital document where you can kind of just go through that and see it for yourself. And that was all in the video where he thanked FCF for their help in collaborating the data and also getting it and formulating it into a coherent little digital presentation. Another big anime YouTuber that you may be aware of was Digibro, and on October 23rd there was a video that he released called "There is Too Much Anime," which gave them more of a public presence. While FCF in the remaining months before the census kept relatively quiet, there was some behind the scenes discussions, meetings, and interviews that took place.
I think it's time for communication to be opened up in a bigger way, and for the anime industry to develop a fucking game plan. This is exactly what the Flying Colors Foundation is setting out to do, and I really hope that they succeed and that anime companies will start wisening up about what the hell they produce. Less of this shit that nobody asked for and nobody's going to watch, and more of the stuff that we're all hoping for.
While Digibro himself is a genius with a 2000 IQ and watches a bunch of Rick and Morty, and we wouldn't understand him on a metaphysical level or anything of that nature, this is the one thing that he is actually good for, and that's one of the things that breaks the entire story of whatever the Flying Colors Foundation tries to say. In this section of the article, they say, first of all, it would be best to discuss how FCF pitched themselves to other influencers as they were brought on board. While some details of this were made public by FCF in the PowerPoint presentation from September 2017, this being the ability for influencers to have the stake in the future of anime, there is more to this. I want to bring this up because it is, in my view, the most egregious act by FCF that I am discussing, because it is a case of them deliberately misleading people on the actions taken by FCF and directly contradicts statements that have been provided by FCF to explain their actions. I have permission to share this as a named source, so I will notify now that this information comes from one of the influencers themselves, Digibro. They continue, as I have noted a few times by this point, the foundation of FCF occurred in the beginning of August and discussions with influencers began around this time. Digibro has noted that they have spoken to them roughly 5 or 6 times since Crunchyroll Expo, a convention held on August 25th through 27th, which is where they first got in contact with FCF and learnt of their venture. But you're probably asking yourself, why does any of this matter and why is Digibro in the middle of this? Well, because Digibro was one of the first people that was paid for his involvement with FCF. Regardless of the statements that was made by FCF themselves, claiming that they had never paid or offered to pay any monetary benefits for their involvement to any influencers. They definitely paid me $100 to do my first consultation with them, but I don't know if that was before they made that decision. It was one of the messages that Digibro had sent to the lady that wrote this article. Wait, are we not pissed off yet? Well, here's where the juicy bits of the story start to come in, because November 16th, 2017 is when the company was officially registered on this date. On November 16th, in the state of California, the Flying Colors Foundation was officially registered. Now, the timeline does start to dwindle a little bit because not much really happens. In January of 2018, so the beginning of this year, the company officially received their public charity status from the IRS. And on March 1st, the public silence has been in effect between the publication of the anime poll and a tweet that was on that same date, noting a March 15th launch date for the Anime Census 2018. The site was also relaunched into its current iteration on this date, which if you go to the website now, it's completely gone. It's completely gone. And as an update, because as I'm making this video, almost every one of these articles and every website that they ever had is completely gone. It's all vanished. It's completely just non-existent at this point. Next is the part that directly affects you guys. And this is how the data that is collected by the FCF is handled. So what they state is that the term partners refers to any registered organizations or agencies that we collaborate with for research projects. Partners may be commercial entities, government agencies, or other nonprofit organizations. To be contacted by our partners, participants in our surveys must actively provide consent. We neither share nor sell contact information to non-partners. If participants do not opt in for email contact, only survey responses will be shared with partners. We are selective about which responses we share and with whom. Since our surveys are anonymous, we do not collect or share personal identifiable information. Survey participation is voluntary, and we do not distribute responses that may pose privacy issues. They also noted, FCF is committed to protecting the integrity and privacy of any survey responses we collect from anonymous participants. We are also extremely careful to comply with HIPAA regulations and general data privacy best practices. Lastly, unlike commercial companies and other data collection companies, our nonprofit organization does not track, collect, or keep any online data about participants apart from their voluntary responses to our surveys. FCF does not track IP addresses or any information that could be tied with personal identities. We operate out of consent and respect for privacy. It all sounds good on paper, right, guys? Well, unfortunately, it's not really all that great. And even in this article, it points out when it comes to HIPAA, FCF have noted that this mental health information will not be shared outside of FCF and will be used only statistically. If any identifying information is removed from the data provided to them when making this statistical analysis, this should be something that they are able to comply with, providing the information collected about mental health is also stored safely. They claim it would not be shared outside of FCF. A wider issue comes in regards to the claim that they don't, quote, track, collect, or keep any online data about participants apart from their voluntary responses to our surveys, and that they don't track an individual's IP address. And unfortunately, this is not the case. The survey is conducted using the service type form. This is the service used to put the survey together to allow for the data to be collected by FCF. In Typeform's privacy policy, they state in section 5.2 of the legal speak version of their privacy policy that their service collects IP address, browser type, and operating system. From the IP address, they may infer a geographical location. The service also allows third-party tracking services. While it is possible that FCF are simply unaware of this, that is also not a valid explanation of why IP addresses are collected contrary to what FCF claim. So whoever initially filled out that entire poll, or whenever they went to that website for whatever reason to fill out this anime survey, they used Typeform, and Typeform has their privacy policy, which you can see right here in this video, where it says that they collect usage data about the respondent whenever he or she interacts with our service. It says that it collects data from the device and the application of the different respondents, and of course it uses a whole lot of other stuff to collect your IP address and browser type and operating system, like we said before. And they said that we may also infer the geographical location based on the respondent IP address. It also gives you a bunch of different information right here, and especially how it takes information from your cookies and the page tags and things like that, so it can collect all of this different information from you. But that's not even the worst part, and even they say it in this article, because what's even more worrying is how many privacy policy laws that they broke, just not even on a state level, but on a federal level. The company, being based in California, has to follow multiple federal and state level privacy laws. The company is directly breaking the California Business and Provisions Code, sections 22.575 through 22.579, due to the site lacking any sort of privacy policy relating to how they handled the information provided to them by visitors to the site. They are also in violation of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998, or COPA, for various reasons. This includes the lack of a privacy policy, but also includes issues such as not giving warnings for parental consent before providing personal information, and by not providing any policy that allows for a child's information, if provided to FCF, to be deleted at the request of a parent. For similar reasons, they are in violation of the 15 U.S. Code Chapter 91 regarding children's online privacy protection, Section 6501 to 6506. On top of this, as a company situated in California, they are in violation of the California Online Privacy Protection Act, or CalOPA, due to not having a privacy policy and not disclosing on the website itself how information could be shared and collected on the site. Sorry guys, I know that is a lot of information to swallow, but just think of it this way. You pretty much, if you took that survey, you gave not only the anime man the chance to get information from you, but he then gave that information to the Flying Colors Foundation, who then took all of your information and gave it to another entity, probably another partner, if you will, and then they used that to find out everything about you. They found out your IP address, where you live at, your browser type, so they know what kind of device you were using, and the operating system of that device, even if it's a computer, cell phone, or whatever. And then they found out everything from your cookies, so websites that you visit, and then they were able to find out everything about you to tailor the experience directly to you using Typeform or using any other just tracking service that they could have at their disposal. That's as low as it gets. And if that's just not enough, I mean, that in all of its glory should do it for you at this point. So besides me just spouting off and regurgitating the same things that are in this article, I'll just go ahead and give my final thoughts on the Flying Colors Foundation and what I think about these big YouTubers that fell into this pot of greed of theirs. You see, these big anime YouTubers, Mother's Basement, Aki Dearest, The Anime Man, Giguk, Glass Reflections, and Digibro are all the influencers of this Flying Colors Foundation, which no longer exist. They all got paid to say something about a non-profit organization that was never really registered as a non-profit organization until the beginning of this year. They used everybody that is in the Western anime community to get information to find out trends, which sounds like a good idea, so that way they stop making less terrible anime to make better anime. But they used it by getting your information, getting your likes, your dislikes, seeing what websites you visit, seeing what you went to go eat today on Instagram, going to see what you posted on Facebook, what you went to go favorite on Twitter, what anime series you've been watching on My Anime List. They have all that information from you. They get to see your IP address, where you live at. These are extremely scary things to give to a company that is run by 6 volunteers, by 6 people that had nothing better to do than to give money to these big influencers, these big anime YouTubers, which is why I myself do not like to be claimed to be an anime YouTuber, because this is what happens. They gain the public's trust, and then they just step on it by giving out this precious information, which is why if I ever send you to a website, be very cautionary of it, even if I send you there. I will only send you to good websites that I have visited and ones that I can 100% say these are safe. But I will never send you to a shady website ever. I will never make a Google document saying, hey, go fill out this survey. I'm not going to not send it to the founding Flying Colors shit. I'm not going to do that. That's as low as it gets, especially if they're trying to parade this around to dozens of people, not just their millions of subscribers, but to everybody that doesn't subscribe to them, to your friends and your family members, to find out what their likes are. Something I forgot to mention in this video while I was busy ranting was I don't generally ever make videos on time because I just get caught up with work, and I usually play games and try to interact with you guys on Twitter and on Discord. But I was going to make a video a couple of months ago, maybe a couple of weeks, we'll just say a couple of months for just the sake of argument, and it was about Otaku Coin and cryptocurrency. And it was something that people like Aki Dearest paraded around and said, this is going to change the anime community forever. Otaku Coin, for the most part, is a new ICO, or initial coin offering, that was going to give anime fans the chance they've always wanted to watch anime and to be able to go ahead and profit off of that by being able to support the anime industry by being able to watch it, receive an Otaku Coin, and then pay for the things that they want to directly help the creators of those shows and be able to support the anime industry. Well, Aki Dearest was a influencer on this entire thing about the Flying Colors Foundation and how you could help the anime community, quote unquote. Well, the other thing is that the Flying Colors community also had a hand in dealing with Otaku Coin. So she was promoting both of these items at the same time because it was money in their pocket. This is something that these big anime YouTubers are doing without realizing how bad this company is. They have agents that do these things for them to find out all of this stuff. And even if they don't, and let's say that they're a one-man operation like I am, this is unacceptable. These big anime YouTubers sit here and they promote something, and then as soon as it doesn't go their way or they get found out that it's a scam, then they immediately just pull a 180 and they never bring it up ever again. The Anime Man promoted this video and told everybody that was on his Twitter and on the YouTube anime community to share his video, to share the link, so that way everybody, like you, would be able to just go into this poll and submit your answers, giving away any sense of just caution to the wind. He said, it doesn't matter. You guys are going to fill this out anyways. And sure, that may not have been his intent. He may not have had any ill intent whatsoever. But the fact that he didn't do any research about this company back in August or September or October says a lot, especially for somebody that has 1 million subscribers and he's had them for a while. But don't worry, he'll delete those tweets for you because he doesn't want you to know that that exists, because I would have put it in this video as well. Now, to be completely fair, I didn't know anything about the Flying Colors Foundation when I first made this video, but after digging around for days and days just trying to find out what exactly was going on, I found out everything I needed to know as soon as all of these big anime YouTubers were a part of it, and it just fell apart at the seams. It's one of the worst things that anybody could ever imagine, having their information taken by a literal scam. It's absolutely just grotesque in any imaginable way. This is why I do not like to be called an anime YouTuber. And I hope that at least this video, if it does get shared around, great. I would welcome another 1,000 subs because I treasure everybody as if you're friends and family, and you can stop in Discord, go donate to Patreon, and it'll show up and you guys can see my streams whenever I have the energy to stream. But these things aren't required. You don't have to give me money, and all my videos are not monetized anyways. I believe in everybody should have everything that they want for free, or at least content-wise. I don't restrict anybody. You know, a $50 tier, and you get super votes and ultra votes. But the Flying Colors Foundation, I say good riddance. And the people that are in the anime community that didn't want them here anyways, thanks. Because you guys are the true MVPs. The Flying Colors Foundation has no home here, and they probably never will. And in case anything like this ever happens again, I'm sure you guys will rise to the occasion again. So as my last video for the end of this season, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Easter as well.